Hey everyone, this is Sandy Carter, and today I wanted to show you how I made this layout. It's a mixed media layout, and I used some really awesome products. I used this new ink color from Tim Holtz. This one is Cracked Pistachio. I kind of laugh at myself when I went to do that. My brush was so dry it would not let me do any splattering, so when I tried to do that, it dripped off the page, and then I just said, whatever, I'll run with it. So I took the packaging and I just put the ink directly on the packagings for a more intense color there, and then just kind of splattered it around wherever I could. And I actually liked the way that looked. I saw a few girls on YouTube do that, and I thought I'd try it out. So I'm actually using some of my stamps. I swear I have a lot of stamps, but I hardly ever use it. Mixed media is a great way to get them, get some use out of them. These are stamps that I got a long, long time ago. I think my friend actually gave them to me. But they had a lot of dots, and so I decided to use those ones to make the background. And now the type of paint that I'm using is a Tim Holtz Wild Honey paint. I actually got it in a 3-pack. I like the way it ended up. I have been playing around with the technique of using these stickers as stamps now for a couple weeks, and I love it. I actually find that it really does a great job stamping, almost better than my stamps sometimes. So I just stuck a couple of those circle dots from the Heidi Swapp sticker kit, and I just stamped them in the cracked pistachio ink and put them on my page. I was going to do it with just a small little dot too, but then I decided to just use the tip of my marker to put the sticker on so I can stamp easier. I don't know what it is. I own a lot of stamp pads. I mean, not stamp pads, clear acrylic blocks, but I can't find any of them. I swear they walked away and I don't know where they went. So you're seeing me use everything from like other stamps to markers to use my stamps. So if you're like me, whatever works. I don't really care if it's a fancy piece of acrylic or not. So I'm taking the triangles from that same Heidi Swapp double-sided stickers, and I used them to stamp on this page, and I really like the way it turned out. I pulled that element of design from the blanket that my son is sleeping on. I actually made him a cute little quilt. It was just one of those panel quilts that you can get from Joann's and you just sew them together. But it had these cute triangles in it and dots. So that's kind of where I got the idea for this page. And this is a cool stamp set. It's like I don't even know where I got it. It might have been, honestly, I don't know the name of the company, but it had a bunch of splats on it. And a lot of my stamp sets I buy are generally things like splats and shapes and stuff. I don't tend to buy a lot of the word stamps or, cartoony images. Now this set I bought because it has some really cute little elements in it. These are just a row of dots, and this is an old set that I got from, I believe it's My Mind's Eye, and you can find them at, I think it was the Lost and Found collection is what those ones came from. But it had a bunch of really cute stamps on it. I really love this star. It is just a cute star, and I thought, well, it would look good with this page because it's a boyish page. But I noticed that stamp set from My Mind's Eye, I think they changed the way they made their stamps because those ones tend to have stamped better than the other ones that I bought a long time ago. I think they switched it to maybe photopolymer instead of just the plain acrylic stamps. But right now I'm trying to mount down the photo. And this is my little guy. He's sleeping. It was a night where I was doing scrapbooking and he was freaking out. He was like crying, and my husband works really early. He's in the military, so he has to be up at 5 in the morning. And when he's flipping out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, that's really cutting into my husband's sleep. So what I did was I took him into the craft room with me, and I put him to sleep, and then I laid him down on the floor next to me so I can finish my page that I was making. But here I am just cutting some stuff out. I wanted it to be somewhat simple on the matting and the layering. I didn't want to have a lot of embellishments because I spent so much time on the background. And to be honest, this page actually went pretty quick. I was making this page at 3 o'clock in the morning. I had got up to feed him and I could not sleep, so I decided to just start scrapbooking, and this is what I came up with. This little strip that you're looking at is actually a strip that I cut off the bottom of a piece of paper from a pink paisley paper pad I got at Michael's. And it's the Hey Kid paper pad. But that little strip just completely lined the bottom of a page, and I just cut it up. But yeah, lately my neck has been hurting me really bad, so I haven't been sleeping well. So if I get up because, I need to feed the baby, I tend to not go back to sleep, which is really kind of annoying because I'm super tired. But when your neck hurts, there's no way you're going to sleep in or stay in bed very long, so. I like scrapbooking, though. I'm glad that I have a little room to go off into and scrapbook in the middle of the night with my extremely bright lights. I know my husband wouldn't like it if I were trying to do it in the room or something. So this is just a little scrap that I had. I used that chevron paper on one of my other layouts. That was just a piece of scrap that I had. I just used it for my layering. I tend to try to use every little bit of the paper. I remember in the past I used to use part of it, and then I'd just throw it into a pile, and eventually I'd get to it and separate it and, put it into smaller piece bags and stuff. But honestly, I never used any of that stuff, so now I just throw it into a little pile on my desk, and that's what I pull from, so I could try to use it up. Now, these scallops, I love the way scallops look. For some reason, I think of dinosaurs when I see the scallops. And when I think of a little boy, I think of dinosaurs. That was my train of thought when I was putting the scallops on there. So I'm just assembling the layers right now. There's no real rhyme or reason to the way I assemble it. Just kind of throw it on there. Because once I figure out where I want it, then I just keep layering it. And I wanted this to be perfectly imperfect. Like, I didn't want it to be exactly lined up for the layers, and I didn't want it to be just too thought out, so I went with it. Now, it's funny because I was attempting to do the whole thread thing. I keep seeing everybody use it. I don't know, it just didn't really do well with my page. And the most funny part about it was that I'd love to show my husband my pages. It's generally like the next day or something, because they're usually sleeping when I scrapbook, but I showed him the page, and the only thread that stayed on the page was that gray, dark gray color. And I showed him the page, and he asked me, he's like, "What's that? Is that your hair?" I just started dying. I was laughing so hard because lately my hair has been falling out. After I had the baby, my hair, I swear, I lost like almost half of it. I don't know. Everybody says it's normal, so I'm not too concerned, but there's hair everywhere, and I understand. He's like, "Is that hair?" So personally, I kind of think, oh man, does it look like hair? So I probably won't be using much of the whole thread thing in the future. I just thought it would be fun for this layout. But I'm working with my little thickers organizer that I made, and I pulled a bunch of thickers that kind of match the page, and I love these glitter gold ones. They're my favorite. They're actually from Michael's, but they're super chunky glitter, and it catches the light so beautifully that when I use them and I photograph it, I just love the way it turns out. It turns out so cute. And then this is just a plain thicker. I think I got these ones on clearance. I can't remember, but they were from Michael's. I like these longer letters. I find them to look really nice, and I actually like how you could make a longer word and it doesn't take up a huge space. So by the way, guys, if you use old sticker sheets to make your titles on, just be careful. One side of them is generally a stickier surface and one is more slick. So that's why you saw me take those letters off, is because I accidentally stuck it on the wrong side. So basically what it does is it makes it extremely difficult to remove your title afterwards. So you don't want to mess up your letters. So always check your little sticker sheet and make sure that you actually are using the right side. But I like this glittery blue font. I've used it on a couple different layouts. I like it, but at the same time, there's parts of it that I don't like. Like, for instance, I was having troubles figuring out what letter was an L on this font. It's kind of a weird font. And I figured, I was like, why is the L with like a loop? For some reason I was thinking it was like a J. But I looked through it and there was another one that was actually a J, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I decided to put it down. So right now I'm mounting the photo down. And I have the title done. And like I was saying, I didn't use embellishments really on this page. I mean, I did put a couple, on the final product, I did put a couple enamel dots here and there, enamel hearts, but I didn't actually use a lot of embellishments because it had the cool background. I don't know about you, but I'm always fixing my thickers. They always peel. Not all of them. Like these gold ones never peel, but they don't stick down, so I always have to use extra glue. But I'm always fixing the thickers when they split, so I'm always having to glue them back together. That's kind of annoying. I really wish they were consistent on the way they made their thickers. But after arranging the title, I am pretty much done with this. On the final page, I did journaling, and I just journaled about that night. But here's the final product. I really love the vibrant color that it has. If you see, there's the enamel dots that I put on there and the enamel hearts. But I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and do a thumbs up on the video. I'm excited to share some more videos with you soon. Thank you. Have a good day.